Get this through your heads, you morons. Russia is not a dictatorship. A couple of weeks ago, I watched Jeanine Pirro talking about dictators and how between a dictator who thinks that all infidels have to die and a dictator who is willing to be an adequate political partner of the United States, the choice is obvious. I truly like Jeanine. But when I heard this, it just came to me that Americans still largely believe that Russia is a dictatorship. And how do you guys know that exactly? How? Generally from those same mainstream media that bashed Trump and supported Hillary. Those same liberal media that try to teach you how certain people can't be racist because of their color and how certain religions are religions of peace while they're not. And although half of you aren't buying this BS anymore, most of you still genuinely believe the mainstream narrative that Putin is a dictator and that there is no such thing as freedom of speech in the big bad Russia. If all that was true, I would have left Russia years ago. Even if I had to immigrate illegally, I would. I would either flee this country or die trying. But no, it's not the case. We do have corruption and we do have plenty of issues like any other country, but it doesn't make Russia what it definitely used to be during the Cold War, a self-destructive dictatorship that invited its people to believe that being poor is good and being rich is bad. That making money through hard work is not a good thing. That working hard and not get compensated is a good thing. It was a lie, and we all knew it was a lie, which eventually caused the downfall of the Soviet ideology. But here's what you should understand. Russia has never been anyone's bitch. We've been a great empire way before the Soviet regime. And why is now Putin really so bad to the US establishment? Not because he's a tyrant, which he's not. It's simple. He does what a good president should do, defending his own country's political, economical, and strategic interests. Perfectly willing to be partners with the US. But let's talk about his so-called tyranny. As I said in the beginning, even conservative pro-Trump reporters are but dimly aware of what Russian regime represents. Even Alex Jones dropped the phrase, "There is no such thing as free media in Russia." Yes, there is. There are private television channels. They say what they want, no one gets arrested. Tyranny. You know who's a tyrant? President of Turkey, who throws his citizens into jail for criticizing him and his government, a man who blocked the social media and traded oil with ISIS. Now let me remind you that Turkey is a NATO country. But I digress. Is Vladimir Putin a dictator? Let me see. Has he ever tried to block the social media or any other internet platform? I know that LinkedIn is currently blocked in Russia over some technical disagreement with the government, but no other platform like Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube has ever been blocked. And nobody stops us from watching CNN, as crappy and pathetic as they are. What else can I think of? Hey, how about this? I go to the Red Square with a huge banner that says, "Putin is an asshole." Now, what do you think is going to happen? According to the Clinton News Network, I'll get arrested by the KGB and go to Siberia. What probably will happen is that I'll be asked to leave. Also, I guess I'll have to pay some sort of fine, but I can't be sent to jail for simply expressing my opinion, the way it happens in England. My government doesn't do that. As a matter of fact, it can't, because our constitution guarantees freedom of speech, that thing you seem to be forgetting. It also guarantees the right to leave the country and come back to the country, as well as the right for entrepreneurship. Does that sound oppressive to you? You know, when we were a dictatorship back in the days, your freedom was an example for us. Not only your freedom, your independence, your state of mind, your ability to say what you think. Let me tell you something. Putin isn't trying to police our language the way BuzzFeed and MTV and CNN is pulling it with you, and if he did, we'd tell him to go fuck himself. In the 90s, we became a criminal state, run by thugs and oligarchs. And all of that was approved in Washington. And why not? They were fine with the Third World Russia. Then came Putin, and it took him years, but he turned things around. The country became something more or less progressive. There are poor regions, and yes, there is plenty of corruption, but it's no longer the third world. It's definitely not as powerful as the United States, but it's a power to be reckoned with. And no offense, it is the country that did your job in Syria. Sorry, it's just the way it is. No disrespect to all the honorable men and women serving in the American army. I have nothing but respect for you guys. I know you would have done it just as well. The fact that your leader was in cahoots with his so-called rebels all along is not your fault. Anyway, believe me not. But I do know most of you are good people. I don't think that, I know that. You are a good nation. And you have to know how heartbroken we are to see you being misled and deceived by a bunch of politically bankrupt degenerates. Thanks for listening. If you don't subscribe, Russia will hack your computer.